Martin here from expatsportugal.com with the Good Morning Portugal show. How are you doing? Now, I am just trying to type something in. The titles beat me to it. Sometimes I have a frantic typing battle against the clock here. So what I was trying to type in is, what do you wish you had known? Okay, that's the first bit on Thursday, which is moving to Portugal Thursday on the Good Morning Portugal show. So what do you wish you had known / want to know? Okay, that's the theme for today, really. Hindsight, 2020 vision, of course. You know, what are the things you'd like to have known and would like other people to know? And if you haven't made your journey yet, if you're on your way, what is it you need to know about? So do ask those questions today. Visioning, creative visualization, and hindsight. That's what we're all about today. And let me see if this works well. I'm going to make a scrolling banner. I'll replace the one that's on there at the moment. Over on the forum currently, along with lots of other threads that are afoot. Hairs are coursing, conversational hairs are coursing over there. Attorney needed for transaction. Now, lots of people find themselves in that situation, of course. And my typing. What do you wish, Yoha? It sounds like I'm talking to one of my Asian friends there. What do you wish, Yoha? Let me just take that off the screen, and I'll leave the attorney needed for transaction scrolling there. And if you want to pop over and have a look at the forum while we're having a chat here on the Good Morning Portugal show, it makes a rather nice combo. How are you this morning on this Thursday morning, quinta-feira? And I'm sure Matty's all over that with a bit of Portuguese. But let me just finish this off. What do you wish you had known? And then / want to know. Save it this time, Carl. So yeah, how's everyone doing this morning as well? Where are you in your plans to be in Portugal? Got a few countdowns going on. We've got people missing Portugal already who've already been. So lots of people in different states of Portugal centricity. So what do you wish you had known? Want to know. Hopefully it will save this time. Let me see if it does work this time, and I'll put that across the bottom of the screen so you know what we're dealing with today. There you go. What do you wish you had known? Want to know. Yes, and back on the Silver Coast this morning. Let's see where you are today. And thank you for the photos. Some of them rather shocking, which I will show, and a few loose ends to tie up. That's no way to talk about an audience, is it? The B-Day Museum was a very popular idea from yesterday. That was an interesting that we broadcast from 8 o'clock. How was that for you? I like it, I have to say. Matty's in this morning with a bom dia da alegria para todos e uma quinta-feira abençoada. I don't know what an abençoada is. We'll come back to that. Apenas mais dia para fim de semana. What's that? So another day closer to the weekend, perhaps there. And talking of, let's do this now, because whilst we're talking about the Portuguese language, seems like a great time to bring in the fact that we're talking to Mia quite a lot, as it turns out, tonight at 7:30. 10 key phrases, Portuguese phrases, of course, you need to know to be arrival ready. So the lovely Mia, who will actually be with me tomorrow morning as well, so we can have a bit of a giggle about everything we learned tonight, and also the Expats Portugal plan. I mean, that's all to do. The Expats Portugal plan is all to do with what you would like to know to move to Portugal. So I'll probably say a little bit about that this morning, and language is a part of it. But our special Q&A with the Expats Portugal plan people happens at 9 o'clock as well. So if you're one of those, it's language and culture tonight with a special audience with Mia. So 2 bites of the Mia cherry tonight, 7:30 for this open webinar that you can book via the website. 10 key Portuguese phrases you need to know to be arrival ready, and then a more intimate and exclusive conversation with her at 9 for the people on the Expats Portugal plan. Those people girding their loins and getting ready to come here to Portugal. So looking forward to hanging out with me quite a lot over the next 24 hours. She'll be with me here tomorrow morning. And Andrea's here as well, of course. Bom dia, good morning, Portugal family. Isn't that lovely when she puts it like that? Bom dia, alegria, amigos, from Thunder. The Spielberg, basically, of Expats Portugal. We saw his lovely Jardim de Ajuda. I don't know if I've got that quite right, but the Botanical Gardens near the Ajuda Palace. Immortalized now in video by Thunder, and of course his Oceanarium. I want those binoculars. Shall I put those on the screen as well so that you can see what Thunder's talking about there? Let me find out. Yeah, here it is. Hindsight and vision. These are the ones he's talking about. Why is that, Thunder? Tell me more. Why do you want those binoculars? There we go. Somebody looking. For you NLP people, hindsight and vision, what you weren't told and what you'd like to know. When somebody, what are they doing? They're looking up to their left there, up left. What does that mean? Is that the past? I think that's the past, isn't it? When you look upwards towards the left, people who know about body language and all that sort of stuff. I'm just scrolling to the end of the comments to make sure that we're being heard this morning. New studio, new setup, familiar green screen back, and I think we're set up pretty well. Hopefully it's streaming well too. You can all be executive producers and let me know that. So lots of lovely chat in the comments. Andrea Hogan sporting a new hat. Is that your outfit, Andrea, for Grey Watch? A bit of controversy around the Grey Watch as well. I'm going to do this now because I'm going to have a sip of tea and prepare myself for this. You might want to do the same. Have you got your Good Morning Portugal mug yet? This came in. This is rather disturbing. If you're eating breakfast, I can only apologise. People are getting ready for Grey Watch. The controversy I speak of is that Victoria found out late yesterday. She wasn't with us at 8 o'clock on the early start. What she discovered was that the filming of Grey Watch, which is the Baywatch remake featuring the Expats Portugal community, may move to the Silver Coast, because obviously Silver Coast is the same colour as a lot of our chest hair now. She's not happy about it, basically. She wants it to be in the Algarve, where she wants to move. And so maybe we need to do too. Now, that could get interesting and competitive, couldn't it? Especially with the likes of Jerry, who, look here, the new Grey Bay team. I mean, already the name's changed. It's not the Grey Bay team. Paul, we thank you for this photo. I think you'll like my budgie smugglers that I'm sporting there. It's Grey Watch, Bay Watch, then Grey Watch, but then Paul has changed it to the new Grey Bay team. Sorry. Well, actually, I'm not sorry for the people on the podcast. They will be glad they can't see this picture. But who knew? I mean, I've sat face to face with Jerry so many times. I never knew he was as buff as that. He's keeping himself in good shape, isn't he? And me too. I'm doing my best, of course, as they're kissing me guns, as it were, right there. Sorry if that's put you off your breakfast. I don't know. Maybe you want a signed copy of it. Maybe that added to your breakfast experience this morning. I think comments are coming in about that already. Good morning, everybody, from Tom. Bon dia. Seems like an interesting topic today, and nice binoculars indeed. Oh, like your binoculars. Stephen's here. Antonio's here with bon dias, as is Cindy B from Porto this morning. Anything you want to know about Porto? Cindy B's here, everybody. João F.A. João, one of our Portuguese BFFs. Bon dia a todos. Nesta primeira, yes, it's a fifth day, quinta-feira de outono. So that's why we're talking to Mia tonight, because that threw me. Being the fifth day. What is that? The fifth? Oh no, I thought the first day of autumn, and it's Thursday. Is that right, João? Have I got that right? Have I made a complete mess of that as usual? Antonio F. Warning: Franciscina's Festival in Irish in the Lisbon area today. Controversial again, because really that's Porto territory, isn't it? And they're taking it upon themselves in Irish to do a Franciscina festival. Anyone got any pictures? I'll gladly put them up. And do you have a picture on your phone of the Franciscina that you tackled whilst touring Portugal? Send it in. 913-590-303. Between September 29th and October the 10th, the Festival de Franciscinas will take place in the Jardim Municipal de Oeiras. Have I got that right? Oeiras Municipal Garden. Thank you, Antonio. Are you going? And are you a fan of said meal? And it is a meal, isn't it? It deserves to be called a meal. It's quite incredible. And I think Frank and I recorded an in-depth, almost like we're going in with our snorkels on into a Franciscina. We did record an episode about that. Where is Frank? Frank! Hopefully his life will settle down a bit and he'll be back on the airwaves with me soon. Several Porto region restaurants will serve meals there. Oh, that's good. So people are moving about the country. The old tripe-eaters are coming down to meet the lettuce people. And it'll be mainly Franciscinas. The entrance is free. You just have to pay for the meals. That seems entirely reasonable, doesn't it? Last time, people talked a lot about Franciscinas. So yeah, thank you, Antonio, for that. Very good. We're delighted to hear about that. And I think yeah, in fact, if anyone is going to that, send the pics in. Do take a picture for Good Morning Portugal. And you could say, couldn't you? I'm here on official business. I'm with Good Morning Portugal. And see how that goes. Jim White, bon dia. You could be our official photographer. Bon dia a todos from Jim. Hey up, Jim. I'll be in touch with you real soon. Been very, very mobile recently, so it's made things a little bit tricky. Lots of things being organised and lots of things going on, but I haven't forgotten you or anyone else interested in the online course business. Okay, so we'll start that merry band soon as well. Bon dia, Thunderduck from Antonio. Midlife Crisis is here, who sent me the lawnmower. which is the nickname for. Is this one of your own sheep? Midlife crisis. Let me just play that straight away. Talking about loose ends. I mean, this is random, but I mean, you send it, I play it. Thank you for this. What's disturbing about that is, of course, is that sheep is actually barking. And what are madrugadores? What are they? That's an interesting, and I think that's a term of endearment, isn't it? Jimmy Choo, what's the matter with you? Hey, he's getting a bit. Yeah, Jimmy's quite happy. Bon dia, or madrugadores. Tell us what that means, if you will, please. Nigel Henry's here. Where is Doc when you need him? What's happened? When you're trying to unsee that picture, perhaps, Nigel? Bon dia from Norfolk, from Mark as well this morning, and from Finland, from Elra. Thanks for the heads up. Pity I won't be there. Which one? Many things. Is that the Francesina Festival? I've got to be careful. Hey, Jimmy, get down from there, you little rascal. He's only trying to jump the perimeter fence. Come in here and say hello to everybody. Stop being so naughty. Come on, you've already been out for your walk this morning. Dominique Cour's here as well. Morning all. Too bad you can't be. Oh, yeah, I think that's for the Francesina Festival. Why don't you start a Finnish Francesina Festival? That could be good. A nice bit of Portuguese-Finnish diplomacy there. Not that diplomacy is required, although that is the buzzword of the moment, isn't it, with all these global political high-ups meeting around the world. Less war, more diplomacy. I mean, diplomacy, why don't we just get on with each other instead of having to sort of couch things in diplomatic terms? Weird. But anyway, digression there. Bon dia from VRSA in the Algarve. Raining like mad here today. Incredible thunderstorm and loads of lightning last night back on the Silver Coast here to greet us. So quite interesting, right? A recent full moon into autumn and an incredible thunderstorm. Incredible times. Where can we meet other expats in Cascais? Asked Patricia Gorst. Well, go to the forum, Patricia. Come on. expatsportugal.com/community. Who wants to meet up in Cascais? If it hasn't already been done, I imagine it has been done. I'm stroking Jimmy Choo's chest here, and he's loving it. He's looking at me with those big eyes of his. Are you going to say hello to everybody? Come on, jump up. Up. Come on, sit up and say hi. There's little Jimmy Choo, everybody. Are you going to say hello? He's messing up the green screen. He's a white dog. If you want to know what he looks like Santa's little helper from The Simpsons. Yeah, exactly like. So maybe we can do some appearances. Me as Homer and with my dog. Elra, yeah, I won't be there neither. Probably next year. Says Matty, this is for the Francesina Festival, I think. Early weekend in South Africa. Heritage Day tomorrow, so going to miss you guys. Yeah, okay, so tell us more about that. What is Heritage Day? What goes on? What will you be up to? Yeah, homie. What is that? Is that how Spielberg speaks? I wonder. Bon dia, Carl, looking sharp. Happy Thursday to you, my friend, says Marty. Snow has arrived here in Alaska. Yeah, I've had a little bit of a trim. Thursdays often. Thank you for saying that, Marty. I'm looking sharp because I've got a lot of work on a Thursday on screen. Got this Good Morning Portugal show, of course, in the morning, and then we have the webinar, and then we have our Expats Portugal Plan group meetup as well. So a lot of on-screen time. So I have to look like I've got an owner. Lee McGrady, good morning from a wet and wild Lisbon. Yeah, okay, amazing, Lee. So the stormy weather hasn't passed you by either. 1 week and 1 day to go, says Patricia. We're loving the countdowns, and I think Victoria also down to 7 days now. That is a yearly event, so next year it'll be there again, Antonio says, so don't worry. Maybe when we do these Expats Portugal meetups, perhaps we should tie them in with such events. Hold on, I need to have another sip of my tea here, trying to look after a slightly curious dog and drink tea and run a morning show here. So let me just have a quick sip of my tea. Bear with me a moment. Yes, dead air, never a good thing, right? But at least you get a visual of a guy drinking a cup of tea. Seth, one thing we need to know: appointments. So, what do you wish you had known? What want to know? Is this the right way to approach Seth? I mean, what can be done about that? With the disarray that they are at the moment, Nigel. I mean, the best thing you can do, I think, is tune in on a Monday morning when we have Gilda with us. And we always talk about Seth and where they're at. And it hasn't been good news, it has to be said, in the last little while. Nothing great to report, but if anything changes, she'll be the first to know, and we'll be able to pass that on to you. We called AFM yesterday to get in touch, have a Zoom meeting regarding the setup for me working from Portugal for a Dutch employer. I have a 2-month notice period and want to resign if needed before the 1st of October. So AFM, one of our partners along the lines of wealth management and taxation, etc., and Matty taking advantage of that first call with them. Well done, Matty. Bon dia todos from Jacqueline CDM. Closer to you again now, Jacqueline. And Antonio F. Ben Soada. That's a lovely word, meaning blessed. So having a blessed day today is Matty's wish for us. Good morning. Off to visit the capital. How exciting, Jacqueline. And every time I go to Lisbon, I sometimes think of myself as a bit of a city, a country boy, and that's where I would like to be in the countryside. But then I go to Lisbon, I think I love it here. It gets better every time I go, and isn't it great when you're on the Silver Coast there, Jacqueline? You've only got an hour on the coach. It's so great, so quick to be out here, on the coast. And in quite a sort of countrified atmosphere, but only just over an hour away from the capital. So have a great day. 8 a.m. is better for me as I start teaching online at 9:30. So yes, I'm interested in your feedback about that. And I think it's for the autumn season, for the autumn reshuffle, rejig of the show. I'm thinking it might be 8 a.m., frankly. Yes, Carl, almost 100. What was that about? I forget now. Ben Suada means blessed. Yeah, thank you for that, Joao F. Greetings from a somewhat windy Aragot. Another day, another challenge, indeed. Yeah, there it is. There's the Yorkshire life philosophy there, possibly. Another day, another challenge. And I don't know if you were here, Paul, when I showed off your handiwork, this candid snap of me and Jerry down at the Algarve last summer. Getting ready in training for the Grey Bay team for Grey Watch. But thank you very much for that. Please never do that again. Yes, almost. Oh, okay. Almost 100% of what I put in translator. Good morning, joy to everyone, and a blessed Thursday. Only one more day to the weekend. So there you go. I did pretty well. Linda and Lewis are here. I would like to know where to visit to look for a place for us to relocate. Oh my goodness. It's one of the hardest things. It really is. We're coming over to investigate places. It looks like there are so many beautiful places. Yes. It's so true, and I have been known to refer to it as San Martino de Porto syndrome, and because that's where we started. It is to where we have returned. Actually, while we're talking about it, it's nearly just over 4 years to the day that we've been here in Portugal, and this was the first picture I took on Portuguese ground. Let me just remove your comment for a moment, Linda. Stepped out of the camper van. It was fairly late in the day, and look at that, the Peneda Gerês landscape. We were staying the night in Gerês, and we were up in the hills, driving the camper van down. And that was the first problem I had with the camper van. When you're making a long descent on an automatic transmission, you should change gear, shouldn't you? And as well as the smell of eucalyptus and pine, there was a smell of probably burning cork from the clutch, if that's what a Mazda Bongo's automatic clutch system is made of. So there was a bit of a whiff after we got through the hills and down to well, not that far down. Gerês is quite a high altitude, but we did make a descent into Gerês, and certainly a descent into their car park. Oh my goodness, that was my first taste of a Portuguese car park. And coming out, I know all the time we were staying at this guest house in the Gerês, I was thinking to myself, oh my goodness, how am I going to drive out of this in the morning? It was so steep. You know what? When you get used to it after a while, the car parks and some of the underground car parking here is really scary. And I got the family out of the camper van. I said, look, every little helps here. Let me get to the top, and then you can get back in again. But it was the first taste of some of the very steep inclines that you experience here in Portugal. But there you go. That was our just over 4 years ago. Almost to the day, a first picture I took in Portugal, looking through the valley down towards Gerês there. And this is me 4 years later. Have I still got the picture on the screen? No, I got rid of it. I had a picture of me in my spa robe from, shall I put this? Oh, yes, I do have it. And there's me 4 years later, living the dream, Mr. Bond at Martinhal 4 years later. Yes, actually, we celebrated, I think, our 4-year anniversary here. Over at Martinhal in Cascais. So from Janeida Panesh, is that right? Peneda Gerês, what am I talking about? Bit of a spoonerism there early this morning. Janeida Panesh. Oh my good. Pineda Gerês, from there 4 years ago to the splendor of Cascais 4 years later. And coming back to your question, your inquiry there. It's really, the more you look, the more confusing it gets. But the more joyful and beautiful it is as well to learn about so many places. So don't assume it's going to be an easy process, and you may well return to the first place you fell in love with. But it is a difficult thing. I'm actually quite, or I take my hat off to those people who've got, like, we've got to be there because it's near the international school. We've got to be there because that's the property I chose online. And that's done and dusted, and they can go off touring thereafter. Those people who save themselves the anguish of discovering a new place they want to live in every week for during their 12-week tour or their 3-week tour or whatever. Not easy, Linda. And please let me know I've got that right. It is Lewis and Linda, isn't it, at the Palantir Fellowship there? And I will be there tonight for the webinar with Mia. Excellent. See you there tonight for the 10 key phrases that you need to know, Matty. It's going to be a good one. It's always fun talking to Mia, who has some. She's an incredible woman. She's a ballerina. And she's also a cat. I'm not going to call her a cat lady. That just makes it sound like she goes to the supermarket to buy sherry and cat food. Not that there's anything wrong with it. I'm not judging women who do that, or men for that matter. It's just calling her a cat lady does summon up that picture of her liking a tipple of an evening while sitting with her cats. She rescues the cats in her neighborhood, is what I mean to say. This may seem an odd thing, but you're in the right place for that. I mean, no, we're no strangers to oddness here. Go on, Dominique, ask away. Bon dia todos, nice topic. Bansuada means blessed, by the way. Thank you very much, Yvonne Gomes, this morning. Yeah, so what do you wish you had known? What do you want to know? Hindsight, and also creative visualization for the future here in Portugal, if you're not here already. One thing that I'd wish I'd known about, having paid dearly, was how to use the tolls. And there's no easy way of doing this, I don't think. So here's my meme for Portuguese tolls. I love this meme. I love those images. And this is a guy, there he is, a driver in Portugal. I've got to get rid of the banner for this, haven't I? Yeah, driver in Portugal, sat in his garden. That toll road, wistful look into the distance. Am I up to date? Because I was talking to somebody yesterday about toll roads in Portugal, and you can drive through one of those gantries, and you can find that you forgot. So you can go on Via Verde afterwards. And in many ways, the technology is incredible that supports all of this stuff. If you want to use the toll roads, and I did yesterday because we need to get to place, from place to place in a hurry. So it was great, and I used to, as you know, I often use a transponder and use the Via Verde lanes, and it, the rental car company then takes it off your credit card bill when they get their credit card bill. Sorry, when they get their charges from Via Verde from the transponder. So for 3 years, or pretty much, I've just been doing that, and it's been so easy. I haven't used all of the Via Verde facilities, like car parking as well. And there's all sorts of things you can do with Via Verde. I think it's an amazing website. When I said to Jerry, man, we need to talk to Via Verde, it's amazing. It is a bit all fur coat and no knickers, the Via Verde website. It looks amazing, and you can see all the things they can do, but it's actually sometimes quite difficult to use, and you end up with that worry. Have I really paid all my fines? And not my fines, my toll fees, but it can turn into fines. And, you sometimes Portuguese people find out that they missed paying €1.50 or something to drive from one little bit of a motorway to another, on these beautifully kept toll roads. They didn't pay it. And it turns into €100 3 years later. So make sure, get an account on Via Verde and make sure. And I still don't know if it tells you everything you need to know once you put your registration and your matriculation in or not. Others will know the answer to that. So back to what you wish you had known, what you want to know. That's something from me, from that point of view. The fail-safe way to make sure you're up to date on all your toll fees. Oh, other loose ends that we didn't clear up while we're waiting for more of your comments on that. Gary Austin has sent in a description of the lovely food that we were talking about. The food alchemist Owen has made all that lovely food. I'll show you the picture again very quickly. He's available in central Portugal for hire. And this was a display of the food at the lovely banquet feast that he set up. Gary went on to say later to me that he made a pasta cheese bake with broccoli and bacon, and it was lactose free, so he can deal with special dietary needs. And then that can be a problem for people moving to Portugal, right? Going out to restaurants. It's very mainstream. It's very, it totally suits my palate and eating. I'm an opportunist when it comes to food, and I don't have any special dietary requirements, but some people do, and it can be a bit difficult. And here, one of the dishes that Owen made was a lactose-free pasta cheese bake with broccoli and bacon, so not for vegetarians, but he'd never known the difference. He would never have known the difference between a normal cheese and the one used by Owen in this case. So good on you, Owen, the food alchemist, hireable to do banquets in your home and deal with dietary needs, as well as, the thing about sometimes with these special dietary foods is they taste like cardboard, right? I mean, what is it, gluten-free pasta? I would say don't bother. Eat something that's much nicer that doesn't have gluten in it. I've never been able to make gluten-free pasta taste any good. Now, this won't happen with Owen. When Owen cooks, the emphasis is on delicious, I think, first. And then you'll make sure your dietary needs are taken care of. And that's finding someone like that is a real blessing, I think, here in Portugal. Another thing to mention, of course, we've got the Distinguished Gentleman's Drive coming up on Sunday. And there's a view that João F. might see across his bonnet there. Isn't that a beautiful view from the Morgan in the cockpit? Driving, is that possibly a toll road that we mentioned before? So I think he's going to have a lot of fun with that. And we have a lovely event in another part of Portugal this weekend. This is a most beautiful poster, I think. The Feira Nacional do Cavalo. This is the horse festival at the Gulgar, which happens. I can't see that. Let me just blow the screen up so I can see it. So yes, the 5th to the 14th of November, next month, that's coming. But I wanted to feature this beautiful poster. Isn't that lovely? Roman numeral readers. What is that? XLVI. So that tells you which one it is. I'm not even going to attempt that, or am I? VI, that's going to be 6, isn't it? So 100 less L50, less 56. Is it the 44th then? Or have I made a complete mess of that? Which one is it? The Feira Nacional do Cavalo coming up in Gulgar. And also, is my pronunciation right now, Gulgar? That is the equestrian capital. And it's like, if you know the, is it Appleby in the Lake District or the North Yorks in the UK, the famous horse festival there, and they happen all over the world, don't they? And what I love about horse festivals is all of life is there. You got your gypsy folk, haven't you? Come and do some trading and ride bareback and do all the crazy stuff that gypsy folk can do with horses. And then your toffs who are going to be on the Lusitana horses, the breeders, those is it bloodstock people, whatever they're called? And the people who are breeding the most expensive horses on the planet. All of life is there and everything in between at these wonderful horse festivals. And isn't that the most beautiful poster there? I hope that is of a visual joy to you as it is to me. And I'm going to clear up all my pictures that I wanted to share with you this morning. This also is interesting before we just go on to full-on conversation about what you wish you'd known, what you want to know coming to Portugal. These people are already here. This was a very interesting demographic infographic thing that was sent to me that I don't think I used at the time. So interesting to see this. Largest immigrant groups in Portugal in 2018. These presumably are the latest figures that have been represented in this way. Brazilians up in the top of the country from the Alentejo upwards, the largest immigrant group, as you might expect, with the connection between Brazil and Portugal. Romanians, I think, if I've got my geography right and my flags, Romanians there in the Alentejo, and presumably that's to do with migrant workers coming into a big influx of migrant workers in the Alentejo. And look, of course, looking like a pair of Union Jack boxer briefs or budgie smugglers. As in the Algarve, the largest immigrant group in 2018 was Brits in the Algarve. No surprises there. But the interesting thing to me is the second largest group, if I can draw your attention to the infographic on the right-hand side of your screen, Spaniards coming into the north of Portugal as the second largest group. And Brits in central Portugal, and Brazilians, the second largest group down in the Algarve. And is that Italians in the Alentejo? And I don't know if I've got that right. I don't think I do I, with that flag? But let me know what that flag is in the Alentejo on the second largest group there. And I don't know what the top right flag is. Forgive me. Isn't that awful that I don't know that? But very interesting, I thought, to share that with you. That's everything. I feel good. I feel clean because that's all my loose ends dealt with all the pictures that I believe that have been sent in. Oh no, here's peanuts. Do you want to see my peanuts? Well, actually, not mine. These are Eric's, and there he is on Monday. Monday morning. Sorry, Monday afternoon. Gosh, I've been busy this week. Monday afternoon, we have our gardening Q&A with head gardener McGrady. He who was in a wet and windy Lisbon this morning. And here's Eric's pictures that were sent in harvesting peanuts. Have you ever seen peanuts harvested? And there they are in the shell that you might be familiar with, looking like little mice in the soil there. Are these also called ground nuts? They're not like a nut that grows from a tree. They grow from this little bush, don't they? And isn't that lovely? His peanut harvest shared with us on the gardening Q&A. I am up to date now. Still seeing that picture of Jerry with no clothes on there. I'll just scroll past that and come back to your many comments. So let's have another sip of tea and let's get into these right now. Hold on. Maybe just have a mindful moment while I'm sipping my tea. Go into oneself. Observe the breathing. Cold but delicious. Right. What's everybody saying here in the comments this morning? And where did we get to? Lots of lovely new people and old people here who haven't been here for a while. Does that make me Bart? I saw that, Stephen. We'll come to that. Jackie Polly's here. Unfortunately, we'll miss Mia tonight as we have a birthday barbecue for Natalie. But we'll watch later. We're following Mia's free course, which is very good. Yeah, good shout there, Jackie. She does offer a free basic course. And Peter Stewart also here. Jackie, in case you're thinking, where do I know Jackie from? Jackie from UK, recently in Portugal and touring and looking for the ideal place. It takes some time and effort, but it still is a wonderful journey in its own right, of course. And Jackie was with us last Thursday in this slot, talking alongside Andy of their expat experiences. So good morning from Peter in a damp Belfast this morning. And Madrugadores is early birds, I believe. There you go. Every day's a school day here. Our 5 dogs did not move to sheep dog when they heard that. They're tired after the journey, right? Nor did Jimmy Choo here. He's asleep now. Shh. Quiet in the studio. Jimmy's asleep on the studio floor. That's very interesting. Oh, no. What? What is very interesting? This, Patricia? I doubt it. That's horrifying. I think probably the infographic, right? I have a Sinovac and the AstraZeneca vaccine. Is it okay in Portugal? I don't know the answer to that. Kubash Salam. Let's other people who are more au fait with vaccines tell you the answer to that. Kubash Salam. Where you tuning in from? Very interesting. A Finnish Francesina, blasphemy. What would that have? The cod in it? It would probably be made with reindeer meat or fish and have a cloudberry sauce. Cloudberries. What are they? They sound fascinating. Madrugador and early bird. So the Madrugador is the way we're going, I think, here, isn't it? And getting earlier too, perhaps in the future. Bon dia, incredible thunderstorms last night here too, near Shamushka. Not far from the Gulgar. Will you be going along to the horse festival there that we will be promoting and talking more about, I'm sure, in due course? Good morning to you, Fiona. Good doggy, says Marty. Does that make you Bart? No, it doesn't. It makes me Homer, really, doesn't it? Which is what the reason I was talking about this last night was we are in it's great, isn't it? When you move into a new place or you're staying in a place and you see some of the kind of self-catering style accoutrements of the kitchen. And Louisa said, yeah, that looks like one of those glasses that you used to get free with petrol that we were drinking wine out of with a little chip in it. Very glad to have it. I've got to say, Mrs. M drinking her red wine and enjoying it. Jimmy, what are you doing? There is I'm looking out at what must be a 8-foot wall. He's capable of jumping that. That's why I'm a bit jumping myself. Come and have a kip here. Come here. Come and have a little fuss and stop thinking about escaping. Yes. So, Elra, your comments are appreciated by Antonio there. But yeah, the reason I mentioned The Simpsons is because alongside the wine glass was a little cup with The Simpsons on. And little lad Sol points at Homer and says, "Daddy," which I wasn't exactly pleased about, I've got to say. We reframed it as granddad, so yeah, no harm done. No, if anything, here's Homer. There you go. You see, Matty, and Mrs. M would be Marge. Not sure she's going to be happy about that either. Dom, Carlos, Homer, De Niro. It gets worse, Thunder. Thank you for that. My dad has 5,000 square meters of land and is too old to cut the grass, so he bought 2 sheep. So there we go. That's the mystery there, to keep it clear. The lawnmower is literally the black sheep of the family. So there we go. Let's have another quick look at the lawnmower then. Who is this person here? It must have been the dogs who were barking. Oh, no, don't need to play it again. Yes, so that's the lawnmower keeping the grass down. Old school lawnmower there. Just no electricity required. Just got to feed it grass that it loves. Joao F, thank you again. It's all about repetition, and I'm not afraid to repeat the translations that people give us here so that we can we learn this. So madrugadores, so yeah, well, hola, bon dia todos. Madrugadores means the early risers, which probably has a double entendre meaning as well, possibly in Portuguese. Seth have updated. I will try and post a link, but there is news at last. Thank you, Fiona. That's really good to know. I honestly wish I had found a resource like Expats Portugal before I moved here, says Jerry of Expats Portugal. Odd thing for me to say, but it would have made such a difference to have the right contacts, says Jerry. They're speaking from experience, some of it perhaps bitter from what he's saying there. Thanks for that, Jerry. Thanks for tuning in. And I hope the visuals didn't upset you too much. But man, you're buff. Hank Stelica, bon dia to Antonio from Hank. Bon dia from Gary. Hey up, Gary. Looking forward to moving and to living there as our offer on the property has been accepted. Yes, Quarabange, exciting. Great news, Gary. Well done, sir. And for the Seth update, Fiona, thanks for this. Brexit.seth.pt. So that's for the Brits. That's for the post-Brexit Brits. You can go look at that link there. Midlife crisis world tour, that's an ecological choice. I'd say absolutely right. Perfect to have the old organic lawnmower there. 8 a.m. start rocks. I think we're going to do that. I need to talk. Jerry, what do you think? We'll talk to colleagues in the team to see if that's going to work well. Just selling up on our way. Thanks to EI, says Helen Ferguson, and the team, of course. So Hope, still waiting on the visa. So what's that? On our way, thanks to EI and the team. Lots hope, still waiting on the visa. So hoping for a visa result, I think, is what Helen's getting at there. Are you a D7 Brit possibly there, Helen? I like the AM, works better for me as it is midnight instead of 1 a.m. So this is working, isn't it? Could be worse. The white one's called lamb chop. The black sheep is called the lawnmower. The white one's called lamb chop. Oh, +1 for 8 a.m. It's working, isn't it? People have got stuff to do, believe it or not. They're not all lushes drinking Sagresh, in the morning. Some people have got things to do. So this 8 a.m. thing could be working for us sometime soon. World tour, saving on fuel, and can always eat the lawnmower if needed. That's a very Portuguese sentiment there, isn't it? Can always eat it. Carl, automatic gearboxes in general have an option. Yes, I knew those numbers were for something on my automatic gearbox, the 1 and the 2. I was thinking, what's that about? Or tell gearbox to only use first 2 or so. Yeah, so that's what that was for. It is still, I imagine my Mazda Bongo is still in the Mazda dealership in Caldas de Rainha, because they couldn't do anything with it. And it was the source of much good fortune for me, the fact that they couldn't. Celebration of the diverse South African culture. Tomorrow, Heritage Day, reconfiguration, reconciliation and peace. A day where we usually get together for a braai. Of course, any opportunity, right, to have the old South African barbecue, the braai. I'm hungry now. What is Francesina and braai talk? Would love to see some pictures of a traditional braai, if I'm pronouncing that right. And if you don't mind, Francis, if you don't mind sending us pictures of your dinner tomorrow. Bon dia, 5 more sleeps. Look, Eris is here on her way as well, and we shall be there. Estou feliz. I'm so happy, she says. Eris, 5 more sleeps. Fantastic. Question, how is the best way to rent a car when we get there or from the United States? Zest and Rent Auto is my favorite combo. Look in the... in our perks and benefits, and you'll get a perk with Zest, who we're partnered with. We got fleeced when we rented a car in Nice. You will do with some of these unscrupulous so-and-sos. We'd like not to do that again. Any suggestions? Yes, Zest. Zen of calling them. It has been, as far as rental goes, it has been a Zen experience. I've really enjoyed working with Zest and using their cars. Can you hear Jimmy now? He's getting a bit frisky behind me. Pack it in. I'm trying to do a radio show here, Jimmy Choo. So any suggestions? Yes, Zest and my favorite provider of theirs. They choose from a whole range of providers here in Portugal, but I like using Rent Auto. Ask for Vasco. He's such a good bloke. Has become a mate since I've been renting cars from them. I'm on countdown. I'm on countdown now. Weeks, not days yet. Roll on October, says Paul. Must be unbearable in many ways, Paul. But we're here with you for the journey. Keep sending in the graphics. It is October. Congrats. Permanent move or for a holiday orientation visit. Orientation visit. That's a nice way of putting it, isn't it? Andrea Hogan, can we buy and register a car in Portugal without being a resident? Yes, I think the answer to that is they just want your money for being the owner. Or do you need your NIF for that? Or join ACP and find out for sure. The others who will know about these things for sure, Antonio or Joel will know the answer to that. We'll come back to that. Connie will be in attendance. I'll watch it later with Mia. It's going to be a popular one tonight with Mia, isn't it? Andrea Hogan, not sure. I guess you need a place to register the number plate, so I doubt it. Yeah, I'm thinking because you need a NIF. Yeah, I think you need the NIF at least. So there you go. But then again, you don't need to be a Portuguese citizen to have a NIF, so maybe not. All I need to know in Portugal. Pegue as cervejas, no car. Yes, ordering the beers is what all that Paul needs to know. I think you need a bit more than that, Paul, quite frankly. I think you need to know how to order the prato de dia as well and stimulate that economy with the buying of food and drink. Driving down in our campus, says Andrea, but we will need a small truck to get around, not bringing the Dutch car yet. Okay, so maybe a rental for a little while. But yeah, or a cheapie, buy a cheapie. We had a tiny box that beeped each time we passed one of the toll boxes. Very handy, and it speeds up the travels. Yeah, that's your transponder, the Via Verde thing that you can get and stick in your window. And the Portuguese address. So you need your NIF and a Portuguese address. But that doesn't mean you have to be a Portuguese resident, does it? Interestingly, I was surprised that Via Verde, Pete, isn't included in new cars from Portugal. That's a good idea, isn't it? Got to go to the terrible postal service to get a transponder for my Tesla. You can get it sent, Pete. If you order it on Via Verde, you can pay €5, I think, to get it expressed to you. You don't have to go to the post office. And often people don't want to go to the post office today, or they find one out of town. You know, I mean, that's how I was in the UK. You got to find a post office that's not very busy and that hasn't been shut down yet, just to right in that sweet spot. But there are post offices where you get great service in Portugal, but it's not a loved public service, is it? Let's face it. That and CEF at the moment. I mean, if we have a league table of the most favourite public services and the least favourite, I think CEF and the postal service will be dropping out of top 20 right now, mate. Healthy Move Portugal, that's the Via Verde toll box, yeah, your transponder. Excellent. You can order the transponder online, says Thunderduck as well. Yeah, viaverd.pt is where you can go, Pete, for that. And yes, Tesla, build them in. Why? It makes a lot of sense, doesn't it, to have them built in? Although, you know, maybe there's a civil liberty infringement to put a tracking device in, and you should be able to choose that rather than having it thrust upon you. Although you could always switch it on or off, couldn't you? You could disable the software if it's built in. The growling is not me, it's Jimmy Choo. I hasten to add. Stop it! For heaven's sakes, man. I'm not sure if it's from the Dutch Automobile Club organization and owned by a friend of mine, says Matty. Morning, Carl. James is here. I think you were the one giving me coiffeur tips. It's the old Brillo pad's looking a bit better this morning, James. Was it you that suggested I should just shave it off? Morning, Carl, from an overcast Skipton, North Yorkshire. And take a look at Momondo. That's what's Momondo, Antonio F? Tell us more. Pete is lolling. Thunderduck, not sure if I can wait 3 or 4 months for them to deliver. I think it's couriered, Pete. If you take the €5 option and have it expressed, I don't think it's going to be delayed in quite the same way. I got my transporter in just a few days, says Thunder. So don't let your past pain color your future, Pete. With that, I think it's going to be okay there, mate. Okay, thought it was in a Portugal car. You can put the transponder in any car, can't you? Drive over in a brick car, for example, and stick your Via Verde thing in there. And you can also go to a Via Verde office. And I suspect if you go to an ACP shop in a shopping mall as well, Thunderduck still awaiting bank stuff. Says Pete, sent at the start of July. So he's very bitter about the postal service. No hours as in a VW bus on the holiday trip. So you can get your transponder and put it. You can stick it on your forehead and run past the gantry if you want. It doesn't care what the nationality of the vehicle or the driver is. They just want your money. Just go to their website and visit one of their VOVED shops and bring one in that same moment. There you go, Antonio F. Always with the good advice. The transporter came special delivery right to my door. Pete, what more can we do for you? It is looking for a long-term rental. Do you recommend searching independently or going straight with an agent? Both, it is. There comes a time, doesn't there, when the search for property can be very pivotal and important to your process. I would say use every means necessary if you're trying to find a home. It's so important, isn't it, to have somewhere to live? But often the best ones are through Portuguese BFFs. Agents want their cut. When you're dealing with agents, the prices tend to be inflated. I think we're coming back to what do you wish you had known and what do you want to know on moving to Portugal Thursday here. So knowing someone is really good. Okay. And, using your contacts, and, we've got them, haven't we, between us here in Portugal. So when rentals come up, it's easier for the community to find them now in our community. Pop something on the Expats Portugal forum /community. And, but, if you need somewhere, you need somewhere, don't you? So don't leave any stone unturned, I would say. And if you really fancy something special, I was chatting with Rosa Martinal while I was over there, and they are doing longer term residencies now. They're known for holiday breaks, but they also do leases that will help you if you need a lease for your visa. They can help with that, their rental team. And what I suggested to Martinal, and I don't know if they'll do this or not, but if you could get a lease agreement with them, and it allowed you to move between their residences, wouldn't that be amazing? So it would be a cross between a 12-month lease and the promissory lease, saying that, yes, this person is staying with us and they are in an agreement with us, in a contract with us to be with us for a year, staying at our properties. Wouldn't that be the most amazing thing, that you can move from Chiado, you could move to Sagres, and you could move to Cascais with them, and their new building that's coming up in Park of Nations, Park de Nações there. So lots of options. Also, have a look on our site for Spot a Home, who do a longer term bit of paperwork that can be useful where Airbnb isn't. Anyone else got any suggestions for long-term rentals for Iris? A spoonerism is life, or should I say lunarism is safe with that. 46. Is that the answer to everything? The new answer to everything? I will try and find the nearest one. Thank you, Antonio and Thunderduck. So breakthrough for Pete. Good morning, Portugal hacks this morning. And there's one for Pete. We'll need a Portugal bank account as well. Okay. So to take the money out of for your payments there. Jason White, the Golgar Horse Festival is great for about an hour. Then it gets a bit weird. With all due respect. Oh, 46. He knows his Latin numerals. It's the 46th Golgar Festival. We're going back to 928 in the comments, everybody. Why, Jason? So is it? I mean, I'm with you. I mean, a lot of experiences of life are good for an hour, and then it gets a bit weird. And I'm not talking about my love life. But that's true, isn't it? I mean, I'm like that with shopping malls. Get in there, have lunch, go, and other things like that. Car boot fares, I'm the same. An hour tops. And then you want to go. But Matty disagrees with Thunder here. X is 100, L is 50, V is 5, and 1 is 1. So, okay, so it's 156 rather than a 46. Fight. I think it's a combination. Maybe you got your equation wrong there, Matty. I'm not sure though. You can also pay via an ATM. Isn't that amazing? As well as popping into the post office with your key fob and going online. They do make it easy for you, and maybe that's why they justify ripping you off with massive fines, because it is quite easy once you know how. So X equals 10. We knew that, didn't we? No! X equals 10, so it's 46. Okay, so it is 46 and not 156. C is 100, of course. Oh, okay. Yes, X is 10, not 100. Okay, so I think we're going to go with 46 for now, right? I have a few of those, Antonio. Is that Portuguese bank accounts? I wonder. Bon dia, Carl, from Ian Turner. One of the principal, the Hoff in Grey Watch, of course. I have learned to turn. I've learned to coat. Hold on. Have learned to my coat about tolls with a rental. I don't know. I think I know what you're talking about. Not making that mistake again. Okay, I've learned to my cost about tolls with a rental. Not making that mistake again. Spending today working out how to grow old. Grey watchfully. It gets better. It gets better. Ian, were you in for this? Because the extras, the casting couch thing is going to be great for you, and because you're going to be part of that as the principal Hoff character, either on the Silver Coast or in the Algarve or both. But people are sending in their casting pics already. Please pick me. We want to be in the growing old Grey watchfully production that is going to be Grey Watch. Amazing, Ian. Are you going to be in our group, our online course group that seems to be a gathering ground? Back to the comments, and they are excellent this morning, I have to say. Midlife Crisis says Castelo Branco district only has 56,000 inhabitants, and these all seem to be from the UK. So yes, the full English is not just a breakfast, it is also a district of Portugal now. Linda and Lewis, we live 8 miles from 10 waterfalls, Silver Falls State Park in Oregon, 40 miles from the Pacific Ocean, and less than 75 miles from Mount Hood and the beautiful Columbia, which I nearly read as the Coimbra River Gorge. Are you looking for somewhere like that? I think it could be Coimbra, couldn't it, with all the river beaches and you can get to the coast. But it's a very different scale of life in Portugal. If you're a North American, nothing is really that far away in Portugal. I think that flag is Romania. I think you're right there. Thank you for that, Matty. Carl, in the Alentejo are Romanians. Yeah, I thought so. And it's either Hungary or Belarusia. It was the other one that I couldn't identify. It's probably changed since I was at school, you see. And do kids still learn flags at school, I wonder? Or is that racist? So we only kidding. So we would like many places, city, rural, coastal, close to Spain, says Linda, and we are open-minded. So that's a good start. You'll need to be. Don't mind a school for children. We are retiring, so not necessary. I have wanted to come to Portugal forever, and now dealing with that as a reality. Fantastic. So what do you reckon, everybody? Romania, I see there. That's not a recommendation. That's a description of the flag, isn't it? Get a room as well. Get a room with a transponder. In the Alentejo is Romanians working in the agriculture there. Yeah, of course, becoming resident too. We had a great president that was a peanut farmer. Yes, I remember. He was famous for his peanuts, wasn't he? Jimmy Carter, great humanitarian, still is, I believe. Get a room. What's that? Why? With that data, it's either Minho region, northwest, a bit colder and rainy, or the Algarve, southeast for hotter. So there you go. Antonio has stripped that down for you. That's really good. Thank you for that. I don't think Sinovac is approved. So presumably that's the Chinese vaccination that's not approved here in Europe. No Hungarians or Belarusians here, says Antonio F., which is probably a statement of fact rather than a desired outcome, I suspect. Bon dia, morning, Jack, says Andy. Hope the search is going well and no more dramas. Andy, how are you doing, Andy? Does Jimmy Chew eat your shoes? Yes, he eats everyone's shoes, or doesn't so much anymore. He did chew through a lead a couple of days ago. He has been infuriating, as puppies are at times, as you know, if you've ever brought up a puppy. And yes, he was called Jimmy Ruffin when we first got him, which we thought was quite a good name. We've had a cat called David Meowie, and we thought Jimmy Ruffin might go quite nicely alongside the legacy of David Meowie, who we don't have, unfortunately, anymore. But it turned quickly from Jimmy Ruffin to Jimmy Chew. Yes, for those obvious reasons. Sinovac, the super bulk of vaccines. Now that's funny. What you did there? I see it. Well played. Yes, well done, you two. Golga Horse Show is unique without doubt. I love it, despite not having any great horse knowledge. You need to stay late and expect to struggle to puck. I did wonder about that because it's a lovely little town. Presumably you can park on the outskirts and get a bus in. But yeah, it's going to be difficult, isn't it? It's to be a first consideration, parking around there. Although there may be a Via Verde solution to that as well. If anyone here is considering a move to Portugal, join this community. Seriously, you won't regret it. And there are so many wonderful people in this community. Thanks for that, Hank. Appreciate it. Let's cut and paste that, Jerry, into our testimonials, our increasingly voluminous and positive testimonials. The EI team has been vital for our moving forward, says Jim. On the what you wish you had known, what you want to know. So EI worth knowing about. Find them in our business directory. Our primary partners in migration, of course. Connie says double thumbs up to 8 a.m. to get to bed an hour earlier, right? Thanks to the EI team for our progress with our D7 visa. Jim White, where are you at in the process? Did you get them yet? This is the visa. I mean, I think you've had a successful meeting, haven't you? If not the visa approval just yet for Jim, but he'll answer that for himself. Yes, you can buy a car without residency, but you need a NIF. Of course, Jerry would have covered this before. Forgive me for not retaining all this information. We turned package into VFS Tuesday in DC. Now comes the great wait. And what is that? Espera grande in Portuguese, possibly. Did it myself before I was a resident. So there you go, with car ownership here. Fantastic. Thanks, everyone. Hola, bon dia. A cow woke me up late, dinging past the window. Lol. Are you starting at 8 a.m. now? I think I will be soon. I think we'll have an autumn rejig just to shake things up a bit. And on that matter, actually, I mean, on Mondays we have our visa update and we talk with Gilda. Tuesdays it's Consumer Tuesday. I quite like the schedule we've got, but let me know what you think. Tuesdays consumer stuff, business stuff, people launching stuff, and consumer matters, which I think is quite popular. Ask anything about Portugal Wednesday, and we have the doc and we have Michael Heron joining us for those, and that's very popular too. Garvo occasionally joins us on that. It's always a good laugh when he does it on a Wednesday. Moving to Portugal Thursday, which this is, and on Feel Good Friday with a range of wonderful people finishing the week off and heading forward to the fin de semana. So do you like that schedule? And should it start at 8 for autumn as we go into our autumn schedule, sounding like a big corporate media station? Double thumbs up from Hank as well. But is that for 8 a.m. or just anything in general, or for that lovely testimonial? Thumbing up your own testimonial there, quite rightly. So from Thailand and the vaccine. So Kubai Salam. Yeah, okay. So I think that question's been answered. The sign of vaccine not possibly recognized here. I've seen some people get approved in a couple of weeks, but it's very rare. Keeping my fingers crossed for you, says Hank. It can happen very quickly, can't it? I've had good luck at the post offices in the Colombo Mall, never busy. One more thing. And another thing, that's my Colombo impersonation there, everybody. Never busy. So there's a good post office worth knowing about. Thanks, Thunder. Peter Bleach, I'm close to buying a Model Y Tesla in Lisbon. And if ever there were a Marmite motor, this is it, the Tesla, right? I mean, that was an eggy old webinar we had with some of you dinosaur juice fans taking issue with all the positive talk about electric vehicles. But Max is into it. I have a few questions. Would it be possible to message you on the forum, please? Warmest regards. So, yeah, get a room is probably for Max and for Pete there. Also, speak to the wonderful chap. We what was his name now? But if you look at our seminar there that we had 2 weeks ago, you couldn't find a more enthusiastic and knowledgeable person. Was it Ugo? Who the chap who was so enthusiastic, not a salesman, but a genuine fan of Tesla. He influenced so many other people to buy Teslas that I think Tesla are giving him a car. It's like a competition that he's won. I'm always surprised people complain about all the services here. Seth wasn't great, but we got our residency cards and we haven't had trouble with anything else in 6 months of being here. Maybe the north is different than the south. Often the way, Rebel Mama. Max Flight, new or used, if used, it would like to hear details about used Tesla prices in Portugal. So they definitely get a room, you electric vehicle people. I applied online for a Via Verde for my Berlingo. And how did it go? Tell us, was it Berlingo go? A go Berlingo for you with your Via Verde there. Mamondo is a travel, lodging and car rental website. Oh, there you go. All of that covered in one place there. I sent the gentleman, I'm going to need to find out more about that. Is it good? I sent the gentleman who wanted stamps with cards for his birthday. Oh, I hope he got them. I think he did it. Overwhelmed he was. Sent a lot of stamps. Some were very old and interesting. My post office wouldn't give me a delivery date. I do hope he got them as well, and it might be worth dropping him another line. And he's a sort of gentleman who would send out a thank you card, I suspect, as well. So maybe drop him another line there, Linda. Be sure to message me on the forums with your progress, says Hank. I'm living vicariously through others in the community since we can't get there until next summer. I need my fix, man. Pete, find me on Facebook and message me there. I have to admit, my Model S is awesome. Casually thrown into the end of the sentence there. I want to know where I can get a doorway for my SEF office. Bitter. Healthy move. No taxes on EVs here. The prices are comparable to the rest of Europe, says Max. Thanks for that, Max. Linda is a dangerous tool. Huh? Fellowship is a dangerous tool. I don't know what's Hank's saying there. We should fear to use it, to be honest. Okay. Capricorn 12. A further elaboration, please, there, Hank. Please post your best car hire recommendations, service, and costings. Just go to our website, please, Capricorn, or just drop me a line. You know where I am, and I'll do that for you. Pete, Antonio, if I found out all Teslas have black boxes that record everything from the weight of the driver, what? To pedal pressure, all can be used in court, so no need to worry about photos. A good thing or a bad thing? It comes into that realm, doesn't it? Of like, well, if you've nothing to hide, you've nothing to worry about. So if you've nothing to hide from your Tesla and everyone else, I want to know where I can get a door key. Oh, not a doorway, a door key for any SEF office. Paul, it'll be all right in the end. Morning, Carl and Jimmy Chu. Good morning, Michelle, Australia. I vote for an 8 a.m. start. I think the 8 a.m.s have it. Thank you, Virginia. Sadly, unable to find you on FB, so I've sent Carl a WhatsApp message. Warmest regards. I'll put you two in touch. Morning, Andy. All good. Just struggling on a long-term rental. Maybe you have room there, Andy. You know he does. He was bragging about his 7-room, villa with penthouse, wasn't he? You know he's got room. Come on, Andy. I think you can make a pretty penny in this next year with all these folks looking for long-term rentals. We had a heat bubble this year on June the 26th through to June the 29th, and it was a high here in rainy Oregon. It was 990 degrees in the Fahrenheit. Goodness gracious. So you might be all right with the Algarve then, or the Alentejo. I forgot. Yeah, I would say Alentejo near Villanova de Milfonche might suit you. And then you can get up to the river beaches in Central from there as well, can't you? Forgot my settings, Carl. Will pass my details on, I'm sure. If you're happy for me to do that, Pete, I will. Can you get a NIF online? Kind of, but not through the government's own means of doing that, which they should do, shouldn't they? I mean, that'd be great. Yes, there are some companies facilitating that service, like Border. I hope I spelled them right. I think that is the right spelling there, Matty. But it's not strictly speaking in NIF online, is it? That's a company online helping you do it, as do EI. So there you go. Yeah, more recommendations there. I've seen 2 sites, NIF online and Border, says Stephen. So facilitated, not a direct connection to the government. Okay. Get a room was for Jerry and Dom Carlos. Get a beach, get a cove. And we did. Look at that. Not afraid to share that. And perhaps I should be. Keep in mind, those ask money for their services whilst getting a NIF at Finanzas is free of charge, of course. So, yeah, if you can bowl in and get it yourself, stroll in, bowl in, a Finanzas office, you get it free of charge. And obviously, people are asking, I suspect, for online NIFs because they can't be here to do that. Healthy move. Portugal is euros, expensive in time. What does that mean? So free in euros, expensive in time, going to get your Finanzas NIF, I guess. There's also the Tesla Owners Club in Portugal, who are really good, says Pete, and may be able to answer more questions than me. Unfortunately, no couriers can find our address using Joseph's address. Get all your mail sent elsewhere, eh? Only half of them find that as well. Oh, dear. Yeah, I guess with couriers it's difficult. If it's a regular postie, they should know it, shouldn't they? I was a postie in rural Devon. You get to know places. I have info for you. Are you on the forums on Expats Portugal? Make sure you are, Linda and Palantir Fellowship. Duck time. It took me all of 20 minutes opening a bank account. It was more than okay, so 20 minutes to get the NIF and an hour getting the bank accounts. I'm not sure what you mean there. It can take longer, of course. Don't knock the studio lights over, Jimmy Chu. I think you need to be a nerd to understand it. A lot are nerd. See, I don't understand that even. And that's becoming a pattern. Hank, I've got FOMO. Join this community. Seriously, you won't regret it. And there's so many wonderful people in this community. Hank, you always have the nicest and warmest words for everybody, says Joao F there. Thanks both Joao F and Hank for your positivity here. Really appreciate it. Good to know. Never been to Finanzas. There's a pleasure, Portuguese pleasure, that awaits you. Thunder. Mark saying, can vouch for NIF online. If you're not in Portugal or the Schengen, you need someone in Portugal prepared to act on your behalf. There's another way of doing it, right? You could get power of attorney or give power of attorney to somebody to do it for you. Did we manage to friend up yet? Ongoing with those two. Kate's here as well. What is Lot R? Come on, I've got to get serious FOMO now. Beware, we just bought an electric car, but we could not get the tax break because Seth still hasn't sent our resident cards. Oh dear, and our paperwork. Paper resident proofs are not an acceptable substitute. Seth sucks, says Kate in a very American way there. We have the sweetest little old ladies here. One just walked by my door and I greeted her. Luckily, she had her teeth and I could understand her. Yeah, it can happen to the best of us, right? Unlike, I always have to make sure I put mine in before the show. Unlike the really old one down the street who smiles and waves, but I can't understand a single word. So presumably she doesn't have her teeth in that one. I think she's in her 90s, and the one who just went past looked like she was in her 80s. Love the Portugal old ladies. They are the CCTV, of course, aren't they here? Thanks. All have been checking into border, says say Linda and Lewis. It's been a dream of mine to live in another country, and having a community like this has made it much easier to become a reality. I'm incredibly grateful. I'm so yeah. What you wish you had known, what you want to know, what's been helpful. Thank you for that, Hank. Really appreciate that. How many places to plug in Tesla in Portugal? I think there's one plug-in point in Porto and one in Lisbon. Only kidding. Lord of the Rings, of course. I'm really embarrassed now. NIF membership is free. The only charge is if you want a card is a small fee. A NIF card. I haven't got one of those. More FOMO there. How do I join your community? Well, funny you should say that. To go to expatsportugal.com. And let me put that banner in so you can see what's going on there. Actually, what I'm going to do is put this. I should put on the screen more often. Support the show. Become a premium member at expatsportugal.com/upgrade. That's how you do it, Linda. And if you have any problems with that, do let us know. But that's the way to do it and get access to 9,000 members plus in our online community, 8,000 plus YouTube subscribers. Amazing, huh? Kate, how do you apply? That tax was the best part of 10K. Flipping right. Thank you, Lord of the Rings fans coming to my rescue there. Just kidding, says Hank. And a final comment now then from Damien Wood. Thank you for what you do. Question, ID. That's a pleasure, Damien. ID card. Exchanging certificate and scannable document. I've still not heard from Seth. Are there many like me? Yes, I think there are. Temporarily out of the country in UK, returning soon. Any stories, advice? Returning. Best of luck to all, from Damien. Now, I think the update, and it's fairly fresh, came from Fiona earlier on, and there was a specific link, which I think it's important for you to have. I wonder if I do Control F and then Fiona. Does that work? No, you can hear my computer struggling with that, can't you? No, it doesn't do it in the comments. That's boring. Okay, Fiona, if you're still there, or if someone can find Fiona's comment many hours ago in the how many comments do we have here of a morning? It's incredible, isn't it? But there is a Brexit.cef.pt or something similar. So I think there is an update, Damien Wood, for you there. And again, obviously, go to the. I think that's going to end up on the forum as well this morning. Hey, Jerry. Hugo Pinto is a Tesla man that runs the Owners Club in Portugal. Don't have his email, but you should be able to find him on Facebook. Yeah, the group on Facebook. He's a key part of that. Hugo Pinto is your man. Hey, Carl, keep an eye out for the applause feature for YouTube. I think you get it at 10K subs. I can't wait. And you know what? I just never imagined I would be doing a YouTube channel that had 10,000 plus people. It was amazing to get to 1,000. It was lovely to be able to monetize and bring some ACCAs in and keep the wheels on the wagon, as it were. And when we get to 10K, there's something else is going to happen. And I think we'll get to a lot more people, which will be fantastic. And our community will continue to grow and grow. So thanks for that. I'm going to take that as encouragement, Hank. Thanks, Jerry, from Max. Thanks from Damien as well. And Hank, I agree with you. I'm truly grateful. Thanks for all the help from you awesome people. That's a lovely note to end on today, right? And I think I'm fully up to date with everything that's been sent to me via WhatsApp. But I'm just going to check one more time. Good morning, Carl. There you go. Yeah, that's not for publication. But it does confirm that I am up to date with everything that I meant to share with you this morning. What a lovely, clean feeling that is. Just looking at my bit of paper as well. I think it's all done. And so we'll leave it there. And I think we're going to go for the 8 a.m. start. I'm not sure when that is going to start, but I think there's general agreement for that, right? Jack, I wish we could accommodate you. The plasterers are missing in action, so we're all still living upstairs with our visitors. Barada. It sounds great, doesn't it? I can imagine Andy via Austin here. It's a misleading commenting system that he has, but he does it via son Austin. But you can see, I can imagine Andy walking about his part of Portugal with a cigar like Groucho Marx going, barada, barada. Have a lovely day, everyone. And let's do these. The thing to do here is to send in your messages, even though the show has ended, and I'll just put them up over the titles. So let's do that, shall we? Thanks very much for being here. We'll see you tomorrow with Mia, of course. Maybe see you tonight with Mia on the 10 key phrases, Portuguese phrases, of course, that you need to know to be arrival ready. We're doing that tonight at 7:30. Probably, well, there might still be some spaces for that. Premium members always get a nice little VIP treatment there. And I see myself as a kind of bouncer, you're not on the list. Oh, sir, you're a premium member. Walk this way as I move the rope to one side and you walk in as a premium member. One of the many benefits of being a premium member with Expats Portugal. So maybe see you there or see you in the morning with Mia and you Expats Portugal plan people. Will see you at 9 o'clock. Have a great day, dear friends, and we'll see you at one of these opportunities that I just mentioned. Ciao, ciao for now.